Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Game Dojo. We are 24K movies, reviews, TV shows, and games. That's right, we do it all. And we are in the month of October. And as you can see over my shoulder, we got my boy Jumbo back there. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is definitely coming forward. You know it. It is a classic Halloween favorite. I'm waiting for the game, but it looks like I'm going to have to wait longer for the game. I was expecting it to come out around Halloween, which would have been perfect, but whatever. We're talking about my boy Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead. Ooh, almost said something. Promised myself I wouldn't say it. Yeah, can't have somebody coming looking for me. Pumpkinhead. Whew. It is a franchise, and I did see all the sequels, but I prefer the very first Pumpkinhead with Lance Henriksen to be my best. Pumpkinhead, for those of you who don't know who Pumpkinhead is a vengeance demon. That's right, for those of you who are in the Buffy nation, in the Buffy world, in the Buffy universe, he's a vengeance demon. He doesn't look like one of the sexy, cute little girls that you saw on Buffy. He is the real deal. But, verbatim, you can't get something without giving something. So, if you want to resurrect vengeance with this vengeance demon, it is a life for a life. He's tied to you. So the story starts as we're treated to Lance Henriksen, who looks like he walked off the set of Aliens because he was wearing the same exact clothes. Actually, Lance Henriksen probably did about 7 roles the exact same time with the exact same clothes on.
Man's Best Friend is one of them.
Yeah, Man's Best Friend is another one. So I think he was just walking off a lot to lot to lot while he was filming all these at the same time, because his clothes are damn near spot on in all of them. So Lance Henriksen, bravo to you to getting your dollars up.
I think it's in his contract that Lance Henriksen has to wear flannel shirts all the time.
It could be.
It just seems to me that in everything he's in, there's always a flannel shirt in there.
Could be. That could be in his contract. So, a revamped version of the story of Pumpkinhead goes like this. He's out, he's dealing, he's in a store. He's got his son with him. His son is watching a bunch of teens play in their motorcycles and four-wheelers, and he's just enjoying it. He's a cute young little boy with spiky hair and glasses, and he's just adorable, and he's all take your heart away. And while the dad is inside the store, the kids get a little too close. The teenagers get a little overzealous, and they land on him, and they murder his kid. So did they do the humanistic thing by sticking around and telling him to go get an ambulance and that they hit his kid? No. They punk out and leave the little boy dead in the field.
Only a few of the teens decide to stay back and say what happened.
She loves to jump in on my reiteration reviews. So he takes his kid, and his kid is already dead. There's nothing that can be done. And of course, he has rage and anger in his heart. And he knows of an old woman, an old hag who lives in the swamp, who said can get vengeance if you've done wrong. If somebody's done wrong to you, you can get vengeance. And he goes and seeks her out with his boy in the car because his heart is bleeding. They never really say what happened to his wife, but I assume she passed away too. He doesn't seem like the type of guy who would cheat or something like that. So it seems like a very family-oriented man. So he goes and seeks out the hag, and the hag basically denies him because she knows what it entails, and she knows he has a pure heart, and she does not want to seek that kind of retribution on him. But unfortunately, he doesn't take no for an answer. So he literally pushes the envelope. So she's like, well, fine. If you want to do it, it's on you. The exact same situation happens in From Dusk Till Dawn. You know how when they first get to the Titty Twister and Danny Trejo says, you can't come in here. This is a biker bar. It's only for bikers and truck drivers. And he was trying to save their lives. He was trying to push them out and save their lives. The same thing the Swamp Hag did here. She was trying to save his life. And then when they insisted so much to the point, he was like, fine, welcome to the Titty Twister. We'll kill you regardless. She knew what was going to happen. So she tells him, leave the boy behind and go out to the old pumpkin patch. There's something I need you to go and dig up. So he does, and he digs up these bones, and he brings them back to her, and she says, there's nothing I can do with them like this. I got to do some things with them. Come back. So He goes and he comes back. She tells him to leave the boy, and she does what is a blood spell. Now, what you're not shown at this point is that Pumpkinhead has the blood of the father, and she takes his blood and uses it. So every time Pumpkinhead exacts vengeance and kills someone, the father feels it. He feels it, he sees it, because Pumpkinhead, in essence, is him, his life force. And when the vengeance demon's job is over, bones need to be buried back into the cemetery, but it is not Pumpkinhead's bones that needs to be buried, but Ed Harley, the father. So as Pumpkinhead exacts vengeance and vengeance and vengeance, the father gets second thoughts because he doesn't want this kind of thing on his heart, on his conscience, or on his soul. And she basically tells him it's a floodgate. Once the flood has run its course, then it will be over. There's no way to stop it. So of course he goes to try to go take down Pumpkinhead himself, and unfortunately he can't. And he gets to the point where he harms Pumpkinhead, and then he feels it. Like, one of the things is the pitchfork. He stabs him in the arm, but then he feels it. So he realizes that if he gets hurt, Pumpkinhead gets hurt as well. So he figures, I'm going to take my life to save these teenagers. Even though these teenagers are responsible for the most heinous thing that's ever happened to him, taking his baby boy and leaving him to die, he vows not for them to get killed this way. Well, all the pieces of trash already died anyway, so it's really the kind of people who were on the fence that she was saying in the beginning. These are the ones that are still left alive that he's trying to save. And people in this area, they know about Pumpkinhead. So when she's running around knocking on doors and asking for help, they turn the lights off, they hit the switches, they lock, they go upstairs to bed, because they know if they get involved, then he will kill them as well. Collateral damage. So they know about him, and they know what's going on. That's the even scarier part, because she can't run to nobody for help, because they know exactly what is going on. So Ed Harley decides to end himself to save them, killing Pumpkinhead. But that's the only way it could have ended, because I think even at the end, if Pumpkinhead finished his course, he would still come and take Ed Harley, because Ed Harley is him. And Ed Harley, at the very end, needs to be buried in the cemetery until somebody else needs to go dig him back up. See, it's a blood spell. See, once you exact this vengeance, your life is forfeit. It's a life for a life offering. And that's the one thing she was trying to get in his head in the beginning by telling him she couldn't do it, she wouldn't do it, and she wanted him to leave. But he was so consumed with anger that he blindly made a deal with the demon. So at the end, we're treated to Ed Harley's body being shriveled up and small, and placing him, she buries him on the top of this mound in the pumpkin patch, so that the next time somebody needs to exact vengeance, it's his bones that needs to be dug up. It is a very original, frightening, and traumatizing movie. I remember the first time I saw this, I didn't know what I was getting into. And the first time you're treated to the look of Pumpkinhead walking, it's frightening, it's terrorizing. He's got this gigantic meaty head, he's got these shoulders that are arched up on the side of him, he's got like this gold... Ooh, almost said it again. That's twice. He has a face that reminds me of someone in wrestling. I'll just leave it at that. He reminds me of a face of someone who's in wrestling. It's just this look in his eyes and intensity he has in his face. And unlike Michael Myers, unlike Jason, unlike Freddy, unlike Chucky, there is a chance you can escape from them. You're not going to escape from Pumpkinhead. He appears where you are. He can walk through anything, get through anything. There is no gun that can kill him. There is no knife that can slash him. There is nothing you can do to him to stop him, unless you kill the person that exacted vengeance. Which, let's face it, if that person truly hates you, they're nowhere near you when you're dying. You're gonna die. But I remember being terrified. I actually had nightmares the first time I saw this movie. It was one of the first movies that actually gave me nightmares. Now, subsequently, there were sequels. Not as good as the first one. I mean, Part 2.
The second one was
Yeah,
just,
part 2 was good.
As the first.
It's not just as good. It was good. It's not just as good. We differ on that.
Then they made the other two that it's still Pumpkinhead, but to me they made him a joke. I mean,
yeah,
I'll still watch him because it's Pumpkinhead and he's my favorite creature feature guy.
but he didn't look like the scary Pumpkinhead from like part 1 and 2 and like 3 and 4. This is my problem when I say sometimes the sequel isn't always necessary. Perfect example, Wolf Like Me. We watched season 1, absolutely phenomenal, totally original. A guy dates a girl, she turns out to be a werewolf, he ends up falling in love, she ends up getting pregnant, she ends up becoming part of the family. Great series, breakthrough, original. Then they came out with a second season, and lightning never strikes twice in the same place. Some things you don't need a sequel for. Some things you just need to let go and just start new. Go with something else. The second season was nowhere near the first season. And when it comes to Pumpkinhead, the first movie was a breakout. We had seen nothing like it. There was nothing like it. And he doesn't get enough recognition as a gigantic horror icon. I mean, the guy is 10, 12 feet. He's not a little creature. He has a gigantic tail. His skin is white. He's got these piercing white eyeballs. His head is a I think it's supposed to be a pumpkin. Well, Pumpkinhead. It's in the title.
I mean, for God's sakes, the thing's got muscles.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember there's a scene from the first one where he grabs this girl. He lifts her up and he takes his nail and just digs it into her forehead and like draws some shit on her forehead. Dude, just kill me! Like, why are you toying with me?
Because he's just like what you call it, Freddy Krueger. He likes to play with his food before he eats it.
He's a demon. He's a demon, pure and simple. And like I said, Pumpkinhead, I don't know whose wicked mind it came from, but bravo, you guys created. This is what I mean when I say we don't always need sequels. Something new can be done. So during the time of all the horror movies and the Jasons and the Michael Myers and the Freddys and the Chuckies, like, Pumpkinhead came out. And Leprechaun. She said it before, Leprechaun. There were great characters that pierced the genre to being their own horror icons, and they carved out a niche of their own lineage. Pumpkinhead is one of them. Great movie. Frightening, terrifying, especially if you watch the first one. I would say don't watch the first one in a dark room at night. This is one of those movies that will mess with you. It really will. It's just disturbing imagery, and for some reason, here's the thing that always puzzled me. Makers of Pumpkinhead, if you're out there, let me know. Did you find it just a frightening sound? So when Pumpkinhead is near, you hear cicadas. You hear cicadas.
It sounded like cicadas and like grasshoppers
all
rolled into one pretty sound.
Cicadas symbolize the ending of summer. Pumpkins are a fall thing, so there would be no cicadas while he's around. But for some reason, that sound, I guess you guys just found it creepy. If anybody knows and found out, write down in the comments and let me know why they chose the cicada sound for him, because that's how you could tell when he's near. You hear that. You hear that? You know how y'all hear that when you come outside in like June and September? That's the sound that symbolizes he's close to you and you're about to die. And he doesn't just kill you. Like Jason slashes you, crunches you, you're pretty much going to die quick. Your death is not quick with Pumpkinhead. There's a scene where you throw somebody through the glass, you yank them out, throw them through the glass, drag them up on the roof, rip off a piece of their body, slam them on here. Like, it's not quick. He's a vengeance demon. He gets vengeance. It's vengeful. But what to give it? Because we're in a game dojo and we run on a metallic scale. So where does this lie? Let's start at the bottom and work its way up. Would it be copper? No. Can't be copper. Would it be silver? No. Can't be silver. Scared the shit out of me. Would it be gold? Possibly. But gold is the standard relied for movies that are okay to mediocre to great job. This is more than a great job. So let's raise the roof and we're going to give this a platinum. because for a breakout character, for a first-time breakout character, and there's been many of them. I mean, come on, Mansquito. Exactly. For a first-time breakout character, the creature design, the storyline was off the chain. The story is perfect. Exacting vengeance, you dig up the bones, it's your blood, blood for blood oath. You resurrect this thing to get payback on your behalf, and it is unstoppable, and he absolutely will not stop until it is done. He's like a Terminator. He's like a supernatural Terminator that looks a hell of a lot more frightening than a T-1000 or a T-2000 or whatever model Arnold was. I think he was like model 101T something, whatever. Anyway, Pumpkinhead is a platinum rating here in the Game Dojo. So while you guys are out there having your parties and you're having your marathons and you're digging into your buckets of candy and you got that sugar high and you're up all night and everybody's around the room and you may have had your little bump and grind session and you need something to watch, Pumpkinhead. You got your monster feature, you got your creature feature, you got your zombie feature, you got your killer in a mask feature, you got all the supernatural things that you want to watch. But in the midst of that, don't forget about this guy, Pumpkinhead. It's the time of season. Pumpkin is in the title. How can you not? Matter of fact, eat this bitch watching some pumpkin pie. Wait a minute. Eat some pumpkin pie watching this bitch. I think I said that backwards in my head. It sounded better up here.
You want to know what the model of Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator machine was? He was the Cybernet Systems Model 101 or the CSM 101.
I said 101. See, I said something. 101T something. There you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's another one in the books. And we highly recommend you watch Pumpkinhead. Don't let children watch it. Because even now, it's still creepy and disturbing imagery. Even in this time frame of where we are in 2023. It's not one of those movies where back in the day you was like, oh, because it was outdated technology, it was scary back then, but it ain't scary now. He's still friggin' scary even now. If you saw because there's a scene where a woman's in the closet. Oh my god, I forgot this. How could I not give y'all this? Bonus. There is a scene where a woman is hiding in a closet and he ducks down to enter into the room. He's that damn tall. He has to duck down to enter the room. So he's walking around and he's looking. You hear and the lightning is flashing, and he's got those white cat eyes, and he's looking around. So he walks by the closet, and she's hiding behind the clothes. It is a pins and needles moment. And then he looks, and then he turns and walks away, and you're like, whew, whew, she got it. She's free. He didn't see her. And then this son of a bitch, in one move, turns around, opens the clothes, and looks right at her face. And I'm like, damn, he played you. He played you.
But lucky for her, she wasn't a part of it, so she wound up surviving.
Dude, he knew she was in the closet the whole time, and he played it off. Like, he literally turned around and started walking away, and I know she breathed a sigh of relief, and she let her butthole unclench, and she just like, yeah, I'm alive. And when that next step he took, he turned around, flipped open the clothes, and was up in her grill with that gigantic, meaty face, just like up in her grill. Dude, in real life, if there ever is a situation to let your bowels go and pee yourself, right there is it. Because he doesn't look like he's going to let you go. He doesn't look like he's going to give you a pass. He looked like that's your ass. And I'm pretty sure in that moment, and I'm so glad they didn't give her like a line or anything like that. She just cried and screamed, because that's exactly what you do in that situation. I mean, I can't think of anything else you would do besides pass out. I probably would have passed out.
Or just be sitting there making those freaky sighing sounds when you're scared.
Ain't no signs. When I thought I was safe and he walked away and he turned back and lifted the clothes open and put his grill right up in my face, I'd be like, ah! I'd have fainted like a straight bitch. He probably would have waited for me to wake up. When I woke up, he'd just been like, yeah, I'm still here. That was kind of bitchy. You just let go. You peed on yourself. There's pee all over the floor, man. Really, you going out like that? Sorry, Pumpkinhead, I didn't mean to.
Pass out. I'd probably just be sitting there looking with with the fear in my eyes shaking.
Whatever. If that Harlem Globetrotter came in a room with that gigantic, meaty white pumpkin of a head, you ain't gonna sit there and play Animal Crossing with him. I guarantee you.
I was saying about playing Animal Crossing with him.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining me on this another beautiful movie Halloween review. While you're eating your candy and you're out there looking for films to stream and watch, make Pumpkinhead in that rotation. If you haven't seen it, I don't know what you're doing. If you have seen it, watch it again. I guarantee you there's some stuff that you missed. This is one of the movies that you watch multiple times, and each time you see it, there's something new that you didn't catch before. Like when I watched this, I probably watched it about 10 times, and then somebody was telling me about the scene where he walked in a church and he destroyed the cross. And I'm like, wait a minute, was that like part 4 or 5? Like, I've never seen that before. And then I went back into it. It was the very first scene you seen him walking through the abandoned building when he found out it was an old church and he had the cross and he destroyed it because he couldn't walk in there. Like, I didn't see that, but that's what I'm saying. This is one of those movies that when you rewatch, new things come to the surface. It is an original, breakthrough, great movie. I give it 5 Game Ninja stars on a Game Ninja scale of awesomeness. Watch it, like it, buy it. Buy it on Blu-ray while Blu-rays are still available. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. From the Game Dojo, thank you for joining me. Thank y'all for liking and subscribing. Keep them views rolling in. I love it. I absolutely love it. I hope you feeling me as much as I'm feeling you and feeling these movies. Well, some of them. You will never see me do a review of Anaconda's 5 or 4 Blood Rubies. Will never happen.
And if you
Though I did do Mansquito.
And if any of you ever want us to review something, just drop it in the comments below and we will do a movie review about it.
We're trying to get her to do some movie reviews, so maybe she can step up and get in front of the camera and do some movie reviews too. Mrs. Nightmare Creature. Anyway, from the Game Dojo, we out.